This week on TGC News, a new version of the urban carry holster, Jaypee Enterprises slows down your AR15, and an exclusive first look at the Nitro 30 suppressor from YHM. Pack offers some of the highest quality tactical and EDC gear in a monthly package shipped right to your door. They aren't focused on sending you a bunch of crap. They want to make sure that you get gear you will actually use, featuring things like knives, tourniquets, multi-tools, AR-15 parts, and survival gear. TacPack is bound to have gear that you're going to love. If you order right now, you can get either a free hat or a free multi-tool by using the code TGC Hat or TGC Tool at TacPack.com. Welcome back to the only gun news show that covers the things you actually care about, TGC News. My name is Jon Patton, and I want to let you guys know that Adam and I will be doing a live Q&A on YouTube on Wednesday, November 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. We did this before as kind of a spur-of-the-moment type thing, and you guys really seem to enjoy it, so we're making it happen again. Wednesday, November 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, this week's first story is about a holster that kind of went viral, and now that holster has a sequel. Let's give a warm TGC welcome to the Urban Carry G2. My story on the initial version of this was mostly positive. I liked the idea of this thing. I genuinely do like the idea of being able to deep conceal a pistol in environments where it may be a necessity. However, I was not a believer that it would actually work for all body types or carry locations on your waistband. The G2 version is pretty much the same thing with a few additions. Urban Carry claims they got tons of positive feedback, but focused on the less than positive and added a few features. Now, instead of having to loop a belt through this, it has a metal clip. Yay! But seriously, that's an improvement. They've also added a couple magnets, one to keep it closed and one at the bottom to hold the gun in the holster. And that's a good addition, being that the last one would just fling a gun across the room. Like I said the first time around, I still think that one-handed manipulation is going to be next to impossible. My big ass could not get my hand and the gun back out of my pants using their method, and I know I'm not the only fatty gun owner out there. They're really aiming to capture more of a portion of the market that wants to have a gun on them but doesn't want anyone to see it. I personally don't care about printing or someone seeing my gun or anything like that, but that's just me. For $65 though, I'd be willing to bet that they are going to continue to sell them in mass quantities, regardless of whether they're anything more than a compromise. What do you guys think? Do any of you actually have the first gen? If you do, what do you think of it? Let me know down below. And on #NotAReview, the segment where I take a product and give you guys a hands-on spotlight, we're taking a closer look at the Nitro 30 suppressor from YHM. I believe this is the first ever video of this thing out in the wild, so soak it in, boys and girls. This is an exclusive. Now, YHM has been making suppressors for a long time, but in my opinion, this is their way of staking their claim in the current market. So what makes this thing worth talking about? Well, it's full auto rated from 17 HMR all the way up to 300 Ultra Mag, so it can handle some abuse. Beyond that, it comes with 2 rear caps, a QD, and a direct thread, and it comes with 2 front caps, one with a muzzle brake and one that's flat. I personally love the way this thing looks with the muzzle brake installed. The body of the suppressor is done in the increasingly popular style of no external tube and the welds being visible on the exterior. This style of manufacturing actually helps keep down costs, and when done properly, doesn't hurt the aesthetics of the can. I kind of like it in some cases. The other thing that I think is important to mention here is YHM's QD system takes the springs and all that stuff out of the suppressor and puts it on the muzzle brake. I like the idea of simplifying a suppressor and hopefully lowering the cost. One of those brakes is actually included with the can as well. So is it quiet? Yes, of course. I don't have exact numbers, but after shooting it all day, I can say that the tone was really good even on a 300 Win Mag bolt action. Shot it on a full auto blackout, a full auto 5.56, all those sorts of things, and it was good across the board. Now, here's the kicker. I expected this thing to be priced at like $1,200 or so, and no, it's just under $900. I think it's like $890. 4 end caps, a muzzle brake, and a high-quality suppressor for under $900. That's really, really solid value for money. To learn more about the Nitro 30, head over to YHM.net. And of course, if you want to see more product spotlights, check out the Not a Review playlist on YouTube. And in overcomplicating the AR-15 news, Jaypee Enterprises has just released their new VMOS, or Variable Mass Operating System, for the AR-15. Well, what the hell is that? It's a bolt carrier with weights on the back end. The concept makes a ton of sense, actually. The thing that makes an AR-15 run properly is timing. Everything is timed a certain way to come together and function cohesively. Basically, by slowing down or speeding up the BCG and recoil spring unit, you can do a lot of tuning to get the absolute lowest felt recoil impulse, as well as making the gun actually run smoother. In a video on the Jaypee YouTube channel, Jon Paul goes into the variables of bolt velocity and port pressure and blah 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 blah. If you're a nerd and want to play with ways to potentially make your gun run better, especially with a suppressor, you might want to try one of these. For the layman out there, when you attach a suppressor to a gas-operated semi-auto, you significantly increase back pressure and therefore increase the speed of the action cycling. The idea here is to slow that down and even out the operation of the gun. He mentions in the video that this sort of thing would actually be great for non-standard cartridges on the AR-15 like 6.5 Grendel or 300 Blackout, and I personally want to try it on my suppressed 50 Beowulf and see if it makes a difference at all. I've tried different buffers in the past on that gun that have helped a little bit, but I'd bet that using the Jaypee buffer and this thing would really help tone down the recoil on that bad boy. I'm a nerd and I want to play. Now, be sure to stick around for a friendly fire question about 22 trainers. I talk all the time about having fun while you train. Well, Refactor Tactical knows how to have fun with their Menace to Society target packs. Included are some of the most hated a-holes from the 21st century, like Gaddafi, Hussein, the boys and the father, and a bunch of others in the ISIS flag too, because F them, right? Whether you're just out there running drills, or if you just want to shoot them in the face, a lot, the Menace to Society targets can help. To get 10% off your entire order, click the link in the description to head over to refactortactical.com and use the code TGC10. This week's friendly fire question is from BJFMX on Instagram, and he asks, do you ever do anything with 22 trainers? I'm going to interpret that as guns that are chambered in 22 long rifle but share similar traits to larger caliber guns. The answer is yes, I do. I keep a Savage Mark II right next to my desk for squirrel eradication, and every once in a while I'll take it to the range and work on fundamentals. The same can be said about any of my other 22s, but I don't really get to shoot them all that often. The key with 22s, I think, is starting people out on them is probably the best way to get someone into shooting without scaring them off if they're timid about recoil and noise. A suppressed 22 is an even better way, but not everyone has a can. My friendly fire question to you guys this week, super simple. What do you do for a living? I'm really interested to see what kind of people are actually watching this show. Post your answer down in the comments. If you want your question answered right here on the show, you can head over to theguncollective.com, go to the friendly fire page, and send me your questions. And that is it for this week's show. Guys, you know what to do if you enjoyed the episode. Hit that like button, share it with your friends, and if you didn't, let me know down in the comments so we can talk about it. Do not forget to get subscribed. You won't want to miss a single week of the show. Please take a minute and head over to the TGC Gear Store. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's episode of TGC News were provided by Patriot Patch Company. Click the link in the description to learn more.